Good evening everyone. We are going to come back to the technological aspects of embedded system with the sub point of interfacing with external systems. We have seen in the last lecture something about the subsystem interfacing. Now today we are going to see the interfacing with external systems. Now we know what you mean by interfacing, right? Interfacing is nothing but the communication between the main system and the target systems, or you may call it as the subsystems, which we are going to communicate the two systems and then we are going to call it one particular application. So let us see in detail about this interfacing with external systems. Now this interfacing with external systems, we know every electrical and electronics project nowadays which we are handling or which we are designing to develop some electronic gadgets that are frequently used in our day-to-day life. Okay, so is it not? So that day-to-day life gadgets are like the utilizing the microcontrollers with the appropriate interfacing devices. For example, if now you can see the handheld devices that you are using is your mobiles, the things whichever you are using, that is the home security. Suppose something home security system is set in your house, so this is also consisting of the microcontroller. Your mobile phones are consisting of controllers. So each and every device which you are handholding nowadays, that is designed with the electronic purpose, and basically it is utilizing the microcontrollers in it. So there are some different types of applications that are designed using the microcontroller based projects. So in maximum number of applications nowadays we are using the microcontrollers. So the microcontroller is nothing but that is connected with some external device which is used for the called as interfacing device for performing some particular task. Now for example, you can say whenever you need to interface one particular LED, suppose you need to glow one LED, right? Or for example, you can say you need to drive the motors. Okay, whenever you need to drive the motor of any system for that application, that microcontroller is not having the power supply. That much power supply is not provided by the microcontroller which is required to drive the motors. So what we are doing, we are giving some extra power supply, so that we are extending, we are going to interface that microcontroller or that motors to your microcontroller device, so that externally 1 or 0's extra power supply has been given. So that extra power supply is converted into 1 or 0's in the binary, and then it is been applied to your motors to drive it. Is it? So this is one particular example how you can drive the motor. So that interfacing that motor with microcontroller is one best example of the external systems. Likewise, we are going to see n number of applications which are going to be interfaced with the systems. For example, suppose now consider the security system. As I told you all, while considering this security system with a user changeable password project, okay, now whenever you are going to come into the house, there is what you can say, there are number of things you can recognize the person. How? Using the thumb recognition you can do, by using setting some password you can do, or by using some face recognition or any thumb recognition. All these things can be interfaced to the device. Okay, so suppose whenever you want to change the whenever you want to set a password as a home security purpose, what you need to do, you need to enter the keypad. Okay, obviously whenever you need to enter a password means a keypad is must. So that keypad is interfaced with the microcontroller to enter the password. So according to some particular application, according to some particular specific task, that particular interfacing techniques is been done with help of the microcontroller. So here you can see the example like the ADC, that is analog to digital converter, as we have seen in the earlier chapter as well, where ADC, that is the analog to digital converter, is interfaced with 8051 microcontroller. Similarly LCD, that is the crystal liquid crystal display, is utilized or it is interfaced with the 8051, or the keypad is interfaced with 8051. Likewise, there are n number of examples where you can interface with the microcontroller. So interfacing can be a transferring data. Obviously, whenever you are going to interface means there is some communication. You need to transfer some data between the microcontroller and between the peripheral devices. Now that peripheral devices can be the sensors, can be the keypads, can be the microprocessors, can be the analog to digital converters, or you may call it as an ADCs. That can be the LCD displays, motors, as I told you, given the example of motors, can be the external memory, even with the other microcontrollers as well. So these are some examples where you are actually going to transfer some data from one peripheral to another with the help of this microcontroller. So for interfacing peripheral devices and so on, the input, it may be the input devices or it may be the output devices. So these devices, while interfacing with 8051 microcontroller, are used to perform some special task for functionings which are called as interfacing devices. So let us see the basic concepts for this internal interfacing or interfacing with the external systems. So if the system communicates with another system, there will be one or more boundary classes identified in activity. Okay, so use case analysis you may understand later to describe the communication protocol. So we can see one example for this class. Okay, we will see it later on. But the another system may be anything with the help of the software to hardware units that the current system will use, such as printers can be used, terminals can be used, some alarm devices can be used, sensors can be used. So these are nothing but directly from software to hardware, some interfacing will be done with the help of these microcontrollers. So now in case of the boundary class, whenever we are going to talk about the boundary class, which will be identified what is the purpose, who is the purpose to immediate the communication, who is going to take the initialization for the communication with the other system, that is nothing but comes under the boundary class. For example of the boundary class, we will see one example. So see, whenever we are using an ATM machine, we know everyone what is the ATM, that is the automated teller machine. This automated teller machine must communicate. Now whenever you go to the ATM machine, and what is the first thing you need to go whenever you are using the ATM machine, that ATM machine, whenever you need to debit or you need to credit some amount into that ATM machine, what it must first do, the ATM machine should first communicate with the ATM network, okay, to assess, to see whether the customer's bank number, whatever the PIN number you have been added into it, whether it is correct or not. Once that is been checked, then whether they have sufficient funds in their account or not to effect a withdrawal. So these are the first three things the system has to be done, that is the called as boundary class. Okay, what it has to do, the ATM machine must communicate first with the ATM network. Why? To check whether the bank number, whatever you have been given, the customer's bank number and the PIN password, whatever you have been given, it is correct or not. Second thing, what it is going to check, whether some sufficient balance is there in your account or no to withdraw that amount. Since the ATM network, now whenever it is communicating with ATM network, I mean obviously that ATM network is an external system, right? So with respect to this, we use a boundary class to represent the case analysis. Hope so you have understood what you mean by boundary class. Communicating ATM machine to the ATM network. This ATM network is nothing but communicating with the external device, but in the same analysis, ATM in the same analysis. So that is nothing but called as a boundary class. So next, if the interface of the system is simple, right, and well defined, the single class may be sufficient to represent the external system. Suppose that boundary class is within the same class, within a single class, these two functions are going to occur, so it will be simple and well defined. However, if there are some interfacing techniques, there are some interfacing are too complex, it is going to represent using a single class, but they often require the complex collaboration with many other classes. Okay, what is this case? Now ATM to ATM talking means what it is going to call, ATM is going to connect with the ATM network, that is within the same class, but this ATM network, if they want to connect with some other bank details, then it is too complex and then many classes has to come into the contact. Okay, so moreover the interfaces between them are often reusable across the applications. So as a result, in these cases the subsystems more appropriately model with the system interfaces. So the use of the subsystem, now here the use of subsystem allows the interface, the external system, to be defined and stabilized while leaving the design details of the system interface to remain hidden while it involves its definition. So here are some important modules where you can interface with the microcontroller 8051. So here you can see this is the LED is the interfacing to the microcontroller, LCDs can be interfaced to the microcontrollers, keypad can be interfaced, 7-segment displays can be done, motors and many other devices can be interfaced to this microcontroller 8051. So we are going to look in detail about all these LEDs, LCDs and rest all things. All definitions or all the design it's not possible for over here. So I have designed two examples, that is LEDs and LCDs. Let us see in detail about this. So first we are going to communicate or we are going to interface the LCD system with the microcontroller. So an LCD display or the liquid crystal display is one of the most frequently used interfacing devices that consist of the liquid crystals. Okay, so you all everyone know for particular application or there are many sub applications where you are going to use this LCD display to display some temperatures or to display some outputs, whatever it has been given. There is some applications where you are going to use this LCD. So basically this is considered a combination of solid and liquid, that is directly liquid is not used, but the fact of water liquid crystals are used in this LCD display. So these LCD displays utilizes the liquid crystals for producing the visible images. Okay, so whenever you are going to see some particular numbers on it or some particular message on that LCD display, that is nothing but there are some liquid crystals into that display where it is going to produce use to display the images. So the LCD displays are a display screen with a super thin technology that is being used in your cell phones. So basically nowadays we are using the touch phone, you know everyone, we are using the touch screen displays. So this touch screen displays is also having the LCD displays where a very super thin technology is used. In the televisions also it is used. The portable video games, whenever you are playing the video games on a television, the same things are used. Even on your laptops, computers, monitors, portable video games, everywhere these crystal liquid displays are used. So here you can see the image of crystal display where it is having the data of D1 to D7, that is total 8 bits data is given, enable pin is there, ROM, a reset pin is there, that is nothing but the register select has been given, then the enable pin is given, then it is been given as the reset pin is given, register select pin, then the VEE, VDD and VSS. These are nothing but for the power supply. So these are the main devices which is required for the communication purpose with the LCD, that is to display the images. So here you can see an application of LCD interfacing with a microcontroller. Now here you can see, for example, what we have given here is one example for what we have taken as an example, that is the RFID based attendance system. So let us see how this project is going to work practically. Okay, so this is the LCD display. Here you can see in the picture what all the things is required. This is the LCD display where we are going to take, or this system is a modern way for tracking the students' attendance nowadays. You all know whenever you are going to enter into the class, there are n number of students, those who are sitting in the class, and it is impossible to roll call each and every student. So what we are doing, we are going to use this modern way to track the attendance of the students. So this is the classroom, taking students in the classroom, so it will avoid the time consuming and for the attendance system while roll calling it. So what we are going to do in this project is that we are going to call each and every student's data is stored into the card, that is the RFID card. Okay, like the name, roll number, and whatever the class division and which class we are studying. So all the required data of the student, it is been entered into the RFID card, and that is used for the identification for taking the attendance of the students. Okay, so that if the student places his or her card in front of the RFID reader. Now what is RFID reader? See, this is the RFID card. Okay, so with the help of this RFID we are going to store all the data into this. So whenever this RFID class is placed in front of the controller, so what is the thing going to happen into it? The data is read and verified by comparing its previously stored data with the microcontroller. So microcontroller will be having all this data into it, and whenever it is been placed in front of it, it is going to read all the data, and based on the verification of the data matching, it is going to display the message on the LCD display. Now suppose roll number 1, whatever the data have been installed into, or whatever data have been stored into it, and if the RFID card is placed into the microcontroller, then obviously it is going to display that LCD roll number 1, LCD is going to display the message like roll number 1 is present. Okay, so the LCD display interfaced with microcontroller, that is used for displaying the confirmation message whether that student present or no. Okay, if the student attendance information is required, then pressing the status button, then it is interfaced to the microcontroller, the attendance can be retrieved every time. So this system saves a lot of time, and the data can be stored in the database as well. By interfacing the GSM system with this project, we can also use the SMS alert to the parents, to the students regarding the attendance. Now here also we can say that every time we were sending you all the defaulter students attendance to your home using via the what you can say, through the postcards, but that was not the way that each and every student might not get that letter at your parents' place. So what we can do into this project is that we can use the GSM system, so that once the data, according to the retrieved data, if the student is absent, suppose the 75% data is not been included into the database, then immediately with the help of the GPS system, the message can be sent to your parents alerting that your students is regarding attendance. Okay, so this can be done. So here you can see what all the things required. There is one transformer we are going to use, one rectifier, one regulator, display, as I told you, this is the LCD display, this is the microcontroller, one RFID reader, one programmer, and one status button. So every time whenever you are going to press the status button, whatever is the data retrieved into this microcontroller will be retrieved and displayed on this display screen. So this RFID has to be interfaced with the display system, so that once it is placed, or whatever the data is placed into this, with the help of this RFID, it is been given to the regulator and then finally to the display. So this LEDs, now we hope so you have understood the LCD screen. Okay, next we are going to see the LED interfacing. Now LED is also the most commonly used in many applications regarding the indicating of the output. Okay, so here they find the huge range of application indicating that during the test to check the validity of the result at the different stages. So to check the validity of support, or if you need to check the result, you can use different color LEDs, white, red, blue, whatever it might be, to check the result of every output. So as they are very cheap, these LEDs are very cheap in cost, as it is available easily. A variety of shapes are available, variety of colors are available, as well as the size is also available. So what is the basic operation used for this LED is also very easy. So these simple LEDs also serve as a basic display devices. Okay, nowadays you can see even the TVs are also, televisions are also of LED types nowadays. LCD TVs were used earlier, but that LCDs is overcome by the LEDs. Okay, so it on and off state, this can be display the devices with the help of on and off state to express the meaningful information. Once the data is been, LED is on means you are going to get the output correctly according to the programming. If it is not, then there is some error you can identify. So some meaning information you are going to get according to the LEDs. So the most common available LED is 1.7 volt voltage drop. That means we are when we apply above 1.7 voltage diode is going to get conducts. So here you can see, okay, here you can see whenever you are going to apply 1.7 volt, if you are going to apply 5 volt power supply to this LED, this voltage is going to get conduct. With help of this resistor, the LED is going to get glow. So the common available, so the diode needs 10 milliampere current to glow with full intensity. So here you can say this is the following circuit which is describing the configuration of common anode and common cathode configuration. We will see it in next lecture, next slide, sorry. So here are the LEDs that are connected in common anode configuration, because the common cathode configuration consumes more power. Whenever these LEDs can be connected in anode and as well as can be connected in cathode as well. But whenever you are going to connect this LED in cathode configuration, that consumes more power. So we are going to consume it in analog form, configure it in analog form or in a anode form. So here you can see the circuit diagram for this is the microcontroller where we are going to interface the LEDs. So these are the source code where you are going to see. Now this source code is including, that is written in C programming. So here you can see register include register include 51, that is 8051 void main undersigned int I, while 1 P0 port, whenever you are going to install all the things to port 0, whenever then you are going to say that 0 into 0 0. So 0 0 data has to be come into the port first, and for that you need to say that int I, whatever the value integer I, if it is 0 and that value is set as I should be always greater than 30,000, and every time it has to be plus plus, every time it has to be incremented. So once the data, now the next is 0 into FFH. FF is nothing but 0 to FF means when the value is 0 0, after increment it is getting FF. So once it is getting FF means still if you want to be in the same port, if it is equal to this, then end. Once you end this port, end this also. So finally whatever the while, whenever it is in the while loop, you are going to, this int integer I is going to get success and the LED is going to glow. Second we are going to see is the 7 segment display interfacing. Now it is the most basic electronic display, that it is going to consist of 8 LEDs. Okay, you know how that 8 is configured, that 1 2 it is set in this way. Okay, so A B C D E F and this one is the G. So this is the configuration. It looks like an 8 bits. It looks like an 8, but the arrangement is for 7. Till 7 displays it is done. So 7 LEDs basically we are going to use. So it consists, 8, 0 to 7 it is 8. So it consists of an 8 LEDs which are associated in sequence manner, so to display the digits from 0 to 9. 0 to 9 number digit can be displayed into the display with a proper combination of LEDs are switched on. So a 7 segment display whenever uses LEDs to display 0 to 9, the 8th LED is used for dot. Here you can see the 4th one it is given, it is used for the dot purpose. So typical 7 segment display you can observe over here. Okay, 1, 2, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G and G, and the 4th one, last one is indicated, that's the dot. So the 7 segment display are used in number of systems to display the numeric information. So they can display one digit at a time. Okay, only one digit can be displayed at a time. So thus the number of segments depends on the number of digits to display. Here if you want to display 0 to 9 display continuously, then the predefined time is delayed in between. After 1 you need to display 2, after 2, 3, 4. Likewise on the same digit if you want to display the numbers, then the predefined delay has to be introduced in between. So that after 1 it has to wait for